Good morrow, Facebookians. How are you all? Is this on? There it is. That's better. Better lighting anyway, from what I'm looking at. Hope you're all doing well on this Monday morning. It is the 11 a.m. cup of coffee. And getting on to you just to have a quick chat and catch up for those of you who are interested, and not many probably are, but my eye is much better. And it's on the mend. Not 100% yet, but it's getting there, and I have less pain and all that stuff. So, what I actually wanted to talk to you today about, and I'll try and steady you up a bit. Sorry for the wobble, Mr. Kevin Kelly, if you're watching, but ideation. Hello, Valerie. Good morning to you. Hope you're doing well this morning. Hope you had a fabulous weekend. But just for the 11 o'clock or the 11C's coffee, I wanted to talk about ideation, or in plain speaking terms, it's a posh name for how to make my offers suck less. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about. How often are you, as entrepreneurs, especially here on Facebook, especially you affiliate marketers, you MLM people, in particular, who don't fully own your product in terms of, you know, own the customer? I mean, I've talked about customer ownership before. You don't own the product. You have very little to move around in. But you actually sit down and say, how do I make this suck less? How do I address things for customers? Or even if you own your own product and you believe in your own product, but it's just not moving. Well, what do? Well, ideation gets you to sit down with your team, and usually it's the whole idea is to come up with new surprising things that you could do. What if, get outside the box? What if I did this? What if I did that? What if I invited them, or the crazy offers that were talked about in ClickFunnels one time. Oh, they can stay at my house. Obviously, that's a crazy offer, but the whole idea is to kind of think outside the box. Well, what I would say to you as a user researcher is that you want to think it inside the customer's head. So if you're doing ideation correctly, you should be pulling your personas in straight away and looking at the offer that you're making and how it appears to your persona. In their head, you get into their head, and how does it look to them? And what problems does it solve? You should also be able to pull from whatever messages you have. If you have a customer management or a customer relationship management database or things like that, you'll have comments, you'll have threads and emails. You'll get a list of all their objections, and you'll be able to kind of craft in that from your ideation. And a good ideation should bring in data from your persona side, from your customer side, what you're dealing with, your front line, who's having those customer conversations, usually you as the entrepreneur. But you do need to sit down with a team, especially if you're, and we all are, we're all working with partners, is to get them in one sitting, sit them down and say, how do we make this suck less for our customers? But I know a lot of you don't do that. And you don't do it because you don't know where to start. And the way to start is the persona. At all times, I'll always pull in the persona and avatar, get inside their head. Get inside their head. Get inside the head of your customer, get inside your top customer's head. And if you can, if you have the option, invite one of your top customers on into this. Thank you, Valerie. I appreciate that. That actually gives me good kudos for Monday, and lifts any of those Monday blues that I had sitting on me now. But that's it. In terms of like feedback I'm getting here, I'm getting reactions to the titles. Valerie's making comments. I can pull all this and pull this into ideation for my own offers. And that's what I'm encouraging you to do. When you're doing day-to-day stuff and you just take it for granted. An ideation session, which is how do I make my stuff suck less for the customer, or how do I move my product more, which is what you're talking about. You're trying to make more money. You're trying to drive revenue for your business and keep your business going. How do you do that? You sit down, you do your ideation, but you do have persona, you do have data on your customer. You should know what your customer's pain points are. And is the product you're selling or the story you're telling with your product addressing those pain points and helping them overcome those pain points? Are you giving them a dream solution? Are you telling them the story that takes them from being stuck in this thing, using the supporting character of your product, that brings them to the solution, that gives them that freedom or that opportunity or that thing that they want and they need to make them satisfied and happy and delighted. So that's what ideation is. It's essentially, how do I make my offers suck less than they do today? And in terms of doing that, I don't see enough entrepreneurs. I don't see enough people in affiliate and MLM who are pretty much the same deal. I don't see that in even in the shocking conversations I have with some people on Messenger, who I'm also trying to entice as customers and get a gauge of them. I'm here to do business, and as well as make friends and influence people. I'm here to do business, as we all are. There's a lot of people who follow me are entrepreneurs themselves, but I've had continuing conversations where I see people who make the same mistake over and over again, and they're not learning or not taking any feedback in terms of what they're doing. A lot of them are spraying and praying, hoping somebody will jump on their offer, which is not what happens, because when we're sold to, if we're to directly, you can have this cup of coffee for $10. Nobody's going to give me $10 for this cup of coffee, right? No, unless I have some sort of stalker fan, and it's fine. You keep your $10, and I'll get the restraining order. But the point I'm making is that we don't like to be sold to. And an ideation session and taking that data that you have makes your offers suck less, so it sounds more like sales and sounds more like you're offering value to the customer. And that whole customer value journey is what you should be on. And ideation, or making offers suck less, is part of that. So I know you're not doing that, and I know you probably are trying to figure out how to do that. Well, there are a number of things that you need to do to address. First off, number one is how you are doing your how are you focused on your customer? Do you have customer avatars? Do you have customer personas that you think of, like, that are fake representations of your audience, but you think of them as people? And every time you're putting together any communication, any offer, or anything dealing with the customer, even your site, you're always thinking of them. That's your first focus that you absolutely need and absolutely have to have. Second thing you need is data. Okay, you need data from customers. Now, whether you invite the customer, sit down and they spew out the data to you, which is harder and harder to do during COVID times, or you pull it from your CRM and from your conversations and you're keeping records and so forth, however you manage that. I can help you do that. If anybody is interested, I have shared it. It's out there. How to do persona creation. I have a document. If you DM me, I will email it to you. Also, if you're not in the CRM space, I have a CRM that's also a huge lead generation machine, which I use myself. That makes my life so much easier. When I have to do engagement and I have to, instead of cranking out for half an hour to get people's eyes on this live, I just press a button and it does it for me while I think about my lives. But as in not my lives, but my Facebook lives. And I only have one life, and that's enough to think of as a husband and a father and an entrepreneur. So that's it. Ideation, how to make your offer suck less. Think about who your customer is. Put them before yourself. If you've fallen in love with your product, you've got to get your customer to fall in love with that product. So you've got to think like your customer. Best way to do that is personas, and you need to pull in their objections that you have from conversations with them. That even includes, by the way, just as a final thing, if you've been told to F off, that's an objection. Who told you to do that, and what did you do to cause that to happen? These are things that you can avoid doing again. That's good. Ideation doesn't have to be about things you do. They might be the things about, let's not do that again. And that's the whole idea about ideation. So it's a posh word for making offers suck less. If you want to find out more about these things, DM me. I keep forgetting, and I will get this down one day. If you're watching now and it's live, hashtag live. If you're watching afterwards, hashtag replay. And if you want to find out more about ideation, if you want to find out more about personas, if you want to find out more about having a CRM, DM me or put a comment in, tell me more. And I will happily reach out to you and we'll have a conversation. Okay? So, happy days. But this is Mark saying, sit down and think about how to make your offers suck less. Think about your customers, your customer's mind, and have a great week going ahead. Cheers.